question a couple times now. I'm starting to get a little bit healthier after the COVID thing, and there's I frequently will go. You'll see me in my Twitter notifications. You'll see me gone running or something like that. I try to let people know. I've even considered doing RDBXRob.live, which I've got a Twitch account for that now, and actually running a GoPro and like maybe shooting the breeze with you while I run. Except for the fact that when I run, I like to keep myself kind of I have the only tech I have when I run is my watch, and I love my watch now. This is a new watch. It's we'll talk about the watch in another Zettlecast if you want another quick little video. But I do finally have a heart monitoring watch, and I'm an old guy who is a former triathlete. Blah blah blah. I worked for Nike, but I so one of the things that I learned while I was doing triathlete training was consistency. The hardest thing, my you guys probably know what I'm talking about here, but my biggest challenge is consistency in anything in life. It is. My absolute biggest challenge is consistency and willpower. And consistency and willpower. Having the guts to go out and just do it. So, and I think it's probably a common thing. I don't think this is unique to me, but I tell you what, I fucking suck at it. I am the worst, and it's just so hard to find motivation. People ask me in the stream all the time, how do you find the motivation to code and stream and stuff? And the truth of the matter is, I have to want to do it, otherwise I won't do it. So I'm constantly at odds with myself and trying to entice myself to do something. And there's many techniques I've tried in the 53 years I've been here. And one of the ones that I wasn't expecting was my watch, was my little watch. I got a real job now. I work for a corporation. I had a real job before, but now I have a job that makes good money, like really good money. So, buying a $500 watch was not that big a deal. And so I'm sorry that not everybody can do this. This isn't part of my recommendation. I'm not flexing about the money or anything. This is, for some reason, my watch helped. And before this, by the way, I had a triathlete watch right here. This is my favorite watch of all time. This is just like a $30, $40 Ironman triathlon watch, right? I just need a watch just to, put an alarm in there. It's going to go off. It's very old school. You can call it boomer if you want. I'm not. It's a Gen X kind of thing to do. We were probably the last generation that wore watches. Now, if you wear a watch, it's just to show off how much money you have. But this died. The battery went bad. So my story is this: I got a new watch, and all of a sudden I was like, well, and it had this heart thing in it, and I was like, oh, and it showed me I needed extra sleep, and I actually started. I realized that I was actually running too much. I was actually overtraining, and I was not recovering, and I learned a whole bunch of stuff. So, but what does this have to do with the time? The time just turned out to be a convenience. So I always go at the same time, every day at 3:00. I don't schedule. In fact, I just rescheduled a meeting today and yesterday. Billy will get mad at me. But yesterday I asked to reschedule another meeting that I had at 3:00 because that is my favorite time to go running. Why? So another big one. Okay. So this is a big one. I used to be a big morning athlete. When I was younger, in my 30s, all of my exercise was in the morning. It would give me, I would get up at 6 a.m. Kid you not. I would get up at 6 a.m. I wouldn't even shower at home. I would get on my bike and I would drive it to the gym. I would ride my bike with my backpack to the gym, and I would get in there and I would get ready in the gym. I wasn't waking anybody up. I was, I would have my smoothie there ready. Everything was all ready, and I would get all dressed. I would go swimming. I'd do my laps. I'd do my run or whatever. It was a great gym. And then I would go over, this was in Seattle, so if you didn't have a gym, you didn't stay healthy because it was raining and freezing rain and stuff. So then I would go to work, and I would get there by 9:00, and I felt like those advertisements for the American military, like, we're going to do more before 6 a.m. than people do all, year. And I did. I felt like really pumped up and everything. And then I got old. And and I used to do Ashtanga yoga every day at 6:30. I did that for 2 years. And that picture of me on my about on Twitch, that's me during Ashtanga yoga days. And then what? And then COVID, a bunch of things started happening. It became harder for me to keep a regular routine. And beyond that, I realized that my best, this is going to sound weird, but my best brain time was in the morning. So my best brain time was in the morning, but my muscles and ligaments and stuff weren't really warmed up. So if I started to try to do the stuff that I wanted to do, strength training or whatever, that it just didn't take, or it hurt. I was more likely to, experience pain. It was just uncomfortable. So then I started doing, like 2 years ago, I started doing stuff in the afternoon, and I did too much of it. I did, like people will remember on the stream, I would go walking for like 4 hours a day to try to get skinny again. And then I pulled it back. So my current routine is this. My current routine is every day at 3 o'clock, I do exercise that puts my heart rate above 122 beats per minute, usually a little bit higher. I have 2 zones, light and hard. And whatever that is, usually it's running and walking. And then I have 2 days of strength training instead of 4, which I might have done before. And then every day, every single day at 3 o'clock, my body knows, hey, dude, it's time to go do something. And I've had a chance to have some good breakfast. It's like soaked in my system. It's been digested well. I'm happy because maybe I need a break from work because it was a tough day at work. So I like it because it's a 3, because it kind of feels like a reward. So if I get up early, if I get up I start working between 8 and noon or whatever, and I do my things, or I stream with you guys or whatever, by the time 3 o'clock comes around, it's a big reward. And I get to go out. I get to go out and just, I'm going to say something else. I'm a big fat dude now, but I still take my shirt off sometimes when the people can't see, because the sun is there. It makes me feel good. I take my glasses off. I just do my run back and forth, and it's just phenomenal. It's just really, really phenomenal. It feels really good. And I come back just totally rejuvenated. And so, and it's something that I've started to look forward to. It's not like it's not a punishment, right? I've started to look forward to it. So let me just recap. If the biggest thing is consistency, but it's also my body's woken up by then, has limbered up by then. It works year round. So temperatures work. If you're an outdoor athlete, and I love to go outdoors, right? It is hard. It is really hard to get motivation to exercise at 6 a.m. outside. 6 a.m. between 5 and 7 is the coldest moment of the entire day. If you go out during then, everything's frozen and you're frozen. And now you're out there and you're trying to get yourself to go out, and you can do it. I've done it. I've put on layers and layers. I had a big park and I just go out there and sweat like crazy in it and go do it. But it's just easier if you just wait till 3. If you wait till 3 or 4, you can go in and do it. You're kind of winding down, and it's kind of in the middle of the workday, but that just means you have to, do some work at night, or you have to bump your workday up to 8 o'clock, which I do. I also, I listen sometimes to podcasts that are work related. I don't take my phone with me these days. I need to start doing that again for music. I also don't listen to music. So that's the main reason. The main reason that I do it at that time, and I'm kind of over my time, is that it's consistent. I only do it for 30 minutes. And I will not, this is my plan. Enjoyed the going string? Yeah. Long train. Oh, did you? Oh, I'm so happy to hear it. So only 30 minutes. Why only 30 minutes? Because, you got to understand, during my triathlete days, at one point I was training, 3 or 4 hours a day, just for Olympics distance triathlons. I was, and it kind of became, I knew there was gonna be a lot of time doing it. When I was doing Ashtanga, I did true Ashtanga, which takes 90 minutes a day in the morning. And I started to realize, I got a lot going on here. I've been streaming, I've been building stuff. I got my family. I like to play Dota to relax. I got more balance in my life than I've ever had again right now. And I want to keep it that way. So I personally have decided that I am not ever, for, another year or so, unless I start training for a 5K or 10K, I'm not going to commit more than 30 minutes a day. Why? Because if I start to commit more than 30 minutes a day, I'll start to regret it. It'll kind of build up and it'll be too much. But I will vary the intensity. So vary the intensity, but not the time. So that means as my health improves and I get better, you're going to see me sprinting for 30 minutes. And the reason I like that is because that gives me, when you sprint and you do things that are faster and more intense, you're kind of in the power endurance area, power aerobics, the lactate threshold, then you end up creating a body that's more like a P90X body. It's more like the body you want to see. It's not as skinny. It's not as marathon-y, and stuff. So you're just going to see me continue to improve and do 30 minutes a day, but it's about the consistency. And I'm kind of going off on this as an excuse to talk about exercise, and health. Do not put these things aside. There's a good, not, wasn't a friend. He was an associate. He wasn't really a friend. He's really kind of an asshole. He was absolutely brilliant, way smarter than me. And, blood clots in his 30s. So, COVID, somebody just said on the stream that one of their good friends, a young person, just died from COVID because of blood clots. That just happened this week. So, now that COVID is gone, and some of you may have got COVID and recovered, people who've got COVID have reported, cardio problems later on, even though I'm not trying to scare anybody here, but if you don't have some sort of regular cardio in your life, you're going to die at 61, like that comedian who just passed on, which is a huge tragedy. And who knows, I might die tomorrow. I'm not, I'm ready to go if I have to go, but I don't want to be that. I want to create habits that are going to stay with me for a long time, and so that I can be, even more of an asshole. just stay healthy. So that's my answer. Do things that are consistent. Don't overdo it. Just stick. You want my paces right now? 8 hours of triathlon training a week for middle distance. A week? Yeah, for middle distance. Yeah. That was actually, Melissa, that was my exact time, actually. Were you doing middle distance? What were you doing? We're doing half marathon? Were you doing half Ironmans? Or I never got into a half Ironman. I've done marathons, and I've done half marathons, and my longest triathlon was Olympic distance. That was my favorite distance. If you're that into what kind of body and time it's going to take, I'm going to tell you right now, I actually might get into triathlon again. I've been seriously thinking about it. I was in the pool the other day. I was in my cheap ass, apartment pool here, and it kind of came back. I was like, oh, this water feels fantastic. So yeah, lack of exercise by loving salad. Yeah. I mean, you got to eat well no matter what. There's something about working, you did your first official. Oh my God. Oh, dude, that is so cool. I'm like legitimately excited for you, because I know what that feels like. Dude, I know what that feels like. A Hag Lake Olympic distance that I have. I did the Hag Lake my first Olympic distance was Hag Lake, and I couldn't even swim like 2 years before that. I said I'm going to drown myself every day until I figure this out. 'Cause goals, The reason I actually started doing triathlon is I was so fucking tired of like just running. It was like, and plus my body was unbalanced. I had really big legs because I had been a cyclist my whole life, and then I was like, I wanted some balance. And it's really great because then, one day or 30 minutes or a half hour, 90 minutes is one thing. Melissa, have you ever read the Triathlon Training Bible? It's right here. Do you have this one yet? Do you have this one? You have that one? I cannot over recommend this book. This book is like so amazing. I probably need to read it again. Who knows? Maybe I'll get back into the triathlon circuit again. This thing is amazing. It's got like all the plans for it, and in there, Joel Friel. Yep. Oh, he did. Yeah, you know him. Okay. Has he come up with anything new since then? I don't think he has he? Now you're gonna get me back in triathlon. Now I'm actually getting goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps because this shit is fun. It is like fun to do that because you know why? The reason I like endurance sports is because they're you against you. Particularly triathlon in America. Did you do your triathlon? Was there drafting in your triathlon? You mind telling me? I'm just curious. Did they have drafting? Was it international or was it if it was an actual Olympic triathlon, then it had drafting. If it was an American version, they don't allow drafting. It's a big drama in the triathlon world if you want to get into it. But anyway, thank you very much for that participation on that. Get outside. This has been an excuse for me to talk about staying healthy as a technologist, which is a challenge because you're sitting in front of a screen all day. So you got to make opportunity for that to happen. And for me, that meant locking down, that time every day, under penalty of death, literally, I am going to do something for 30 minutes that puts my heart rate over 120 and preferably has something to do with the outdoors. It was a half Ironman. What? Serious? You're a real deal, man. Or person. I don't know. So, take suit and join our community. And we actually have a lot of people. I think Volkswagen was talking about it. We have a lot of people that have like started walking. I did the cliff shuffle for a long time because I had extra weight on me. I couldn't even run. I was just walking fast because I had to work the weight off to even get to the point where I could just shuffle along. And now I'm shuffling around at 10-minute miles, 1.5 miles at 10 minutes a mile, and the rest is all recovery, with like a 15-minute pace. So just do it. It's fun. It'll make you feel better. I actually think you're probably going to start sensing, my wife certainly has, I've been a lot more upbeat lately. And it does go up and down, of course, but since I've started doing this little change, it has dramatically changed my mood every day. 6:40? No way. Oh, congrats. That is awesome. So, but not so good for mental health. Yeah, it depends. It depends on how official it is, right? So, I mean, there are some bad things about working out. So if you do too much working out and you get overtrained, getting overtrained makes you into the grumpiest person ever. That's when you'll just be mad. One of the primary symptoms of being overtrained, even if you're just going for walks and your body can't take it yet, is being really pissed off for no reason. You get mad at people. You've ever had this? If you overtrain, you'll start just getting super angry at people, and you cannot explain why. You just are, because you're missing sleep and your body's not recovering. It's a real typical symptom. So make sure you don't overtrain. And that's why I'm going to limit myself to 30 minutes a day, every day, and have been. I'm like on second week now. I had a big break for 2 weeks. And before that, I had been walking. I was walking for like 2 hours a day, every day to get my 10,000 steps in. And then I was like, I can't do this anymore. I was listening to all these podcasts and stuff. I was like, I don't feel the results here. Since I started doing 30 minutes a day, every day, and I know that's going to be done no matter what in 30 minutes, has changed everything. It's like a real big secret for me to reduce my commitment so that I can keep doing it every day. Ask me again in a month. Hold me to it. Talk to you later.